Thank you so very much. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
We need something.
Somebody's just waking up.
Trying to sleep earlier, then my phone kept ringing.
Yeah.
For that alert, I got it twice in English and then one in Spanish, and I try to read it close.
I got it 3 times.
They sent me one in Spanish. I was like, I don't think this is for me, but okay. I want to know.
Yeah, 119 and then close to 130.
I got
Another one. I had 2.
I was trying to sleep. I'm on 40. They wanted me to leave first. Oh, look at you. If I'm one point. People walking around classroom, probably got some shit and a boat. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. There has to be that's a different part of that whole, the whole bowl is. This would easily be that serious about it too. He's like, is that a different color in here? Like, no. There you go.
So let's get started. I want you to look for the accountability partner that you sat by during 2. So Do you remember when you sat by and you told the person and you kind of, okay, good, yeah. Do you remember? You told the person that, you know, what you're going to do this semester to have a growth mindset and to make sure that things are going well. So sit by the person. Do you remember who your person was?
No.
My partner here.
Yeah,
mine was Mia.
yeah, we know that. That was Mia.
Mine was Mia.
Okay, yours was Mia. Okay. What, were you with Gabby that day? Do you remember? Okay, Shakira, I know that you did not. Were you there? No, you were not. Okay, Kasia. Okay. All right, you can sit by, yeah. All right, Randy, who was the
The one that was sitting here. It starts with a J.
Jessica?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jessica is not here today. Justin, who was your partner? Right, okay. And- Okay. John, I don't think that our part was you.
I can tell us what he told me to be a count. I think it's gonna be under.
Did you?
That's a possibility. I
just want to sound this. Oh, yeah, my partner was Matt.
Okay, Matt.
Not.
Okay. So I need you to be close by with my towards. And I just think that next week we are online. So I just want to talk to this person about how this. All right, so let's move around. And I'm going to spend about 10 minutes. The partner is already. Oh, let's bring out and. Oh. About the semester. What is making
Okay. Because right now I'm taking this course, only one of the back two, and then my test I'll be taking it because I didn't pass it last time. I got a B, but it didn't count. A D. Yeah, it didn't count last time taking it. And the professor was supposed to be a second one, but it's the same one. So last time he said to make sure to take it with the professor. So like everything's a similar idea, so everything like kind of just revising it and then turning it. John Armour. Yeah, just retaking that class. That's the final of my test. The 343. The assessment. The assessment. Yeah, so far I need to take the 310 and the 3. Yeah, the paper. You're on the topic. There's an online class. There were 4 parts, and then the final part is your self-reflection and like a reflection of the class.
What's an asset class? Just out of my mind. Very bad at it. So I usually don't. It's like a big assignment that I did that on, or if it's.
Yeah. With this class, there's not really any grades yet. So only the attendance. Yeah, this one. Only the attendance. Only the attendance at the moment.
12, 36.
Been okay.
I keep forgetting like those things like
I've been okay too. Yeah.
Okay, so you have what are you so I know I just in your case, thank you.
If I have a planner, I don't use it.
it's gone forever.
Are you done with the TESOL classes? Which one? Yeah, I took it last spring. This past spring. Actually, I took it last fall. I took it with the TESOL 343.
According to like, our advisor. Just the whole really
Oh,
So I was like, hey, Vanessa, does this still look good? And it was just like, well, we'll have to rewrite something.
during the pandemic, it was Vanessa in 21. But yeah. It was Vanessa, and then that became the other one for the last year or like earlier. She like yeah, she switched over to a different one. Yeah, that one. It was, and then she left, and then became king again. It's been 21, spring of 21. And it was online, so my first semester was fully online, the second one was fully online. I think you were in one of my classes with the TESOL. Because I was mainly taking TESOL classes. And this is my first early ed class.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, the TESOL ones are like more easier than the early ed classes.
It's just not as like.
yeah. The one.
Oh, that was hard. Yeah, it was in person. The first in person class. I mean. I was struggling with it when during that part.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Stupid trees, and like trying to like make sure you're like.
Well, I think we might have been in that class together that spring, right? It wasn't spring. Or like another one. But I think I've seen you guys, your names in one of those sessions. Yeah, John was in person. That was my first in person. And then it's been all in person. When I came here, it was John, and then like I had another one, Francis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Courtney, and then the 341 or 40 for the fall of 21. It was either the 41 or the 40, 340 or 41. It's one of those.
Yeah, it was like it was like rain.
Mostly a bunch of video ads for that class. Since it was like kind of like remote kind of, and then like you had online those kinds. I get a planner from Trio, but I don't use it. I just get it and I don't use it. I end up just writing it on something and then I forget about it. Yeah, that kind.
When do you start stuff?
Huh? Sometimes like the last minute. Yeah, last minute. Like 1 or 2 days before the deadline, and I try to finish it. Like kind of like I'm lazy, but like yeah, it's hard.
Oh, I think that.
Yeah, and time management kind of too. Yeah, because of like returning it late, and then somehow still getting a grade, but not that well of a grade. Yeah, that's for like every class for me. Yeah, every class. Did my bring the next week, the week after next?
Did you send home your assignment?
I need to do mine.
No.
Not third grade. You finished with yours?
With what?
The assignment due next Wednesday.
I gave it to my family, so now I'm just waiting for them to. Mhm. And I thought it was due today, so it's like giving it to them on Sunday.
Today is the other one. Yeah, today's the chapter
Yeah.
4 to 6. That one.
I took a picture of the things that we took yesterday, and I just.
Yeah, and then the next one will be like all the chapter 7 to 12. The third one.
No way.
For this module. And then, but she said we're not writing about the whole thing on the 17th.
Yeah, okay.
Something else. Maybe something else. Good. Your reflection two methods. The method. Yep. And then we have the other discussion board for next week. Right?
I can't do any just keep reading or
Can you? Play.
Are you going to the one that's coming the next Saturday? Oh, so you're not able.
So there's.
all right.
And then we can do the reply to it. To the one that's due next week. It's on Wednesday, right? The discussion board's due Wednesday with the.
Yeah.
I always do this. Yeah, I guess.
That's very cool.
Not really. You can just look back at the PowerPoint. But this class, we don't show us the PowerPoint on the T12.
I feel like
Basically, like,
Are we still gonna need to do the video thing, the video conference, parent conference
Oh.
thing?
Yeah.
That's a discussion. She didn't talk about it. Oh, she didn't talk about it yet. She was supposed to talk about it last week.
Yeah.
She didn't talk about it yet. And then we got the other group project of the community.
yeah. Yeah. My mom was telling me about it. She's just like, oh yeah, like put down like notes for like these districts and blah blah blah. Because like my friends' parents are teachers, and they're like, oh, and they're like really close. And it's like I'm school, so like trying to get in there. But according to what John said, is that if they have that chance, they'll try to put you in a school.
Yeah.
Because those suck. It's gonna suck. It's just like, oh, it's just nice.
My clinical for the TESOL was at a CPS. Yeah, I end up doing the like more than 100 hours.
Okay.
Huh? You still like do the same idea as the early ed one. You do the 2 lesson plans, but I end up like only doing one because she wasn't able to come see for the second one. It was
In the summer.
yeah, it was so-called springish summertime. I had to do it again in July to finish it because she wasn't able to come in spring in June. So I end up finishing in July. Yeah. And then we had to do those other assignments. You still can make your own due dates for the assignments.
These kids all the time. It's kind of like, it's because I teach states. It's like right here. It's not to have a
Yeah.
there's this girl who doesn't speak English at all. She speaks Russian. I'm not gonna learn Russian, so it's just charades in a few days. Because she's not picking up any vocabulary. I don't think she's practicing it.
No.
Because she comes in, she's the one who speaks Russian. She doesn't talk at all.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting there like charading and like acting out what she has to do, or I'm just like having all the other kids go before her so she can see. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's fine.
Okay. Oh. Okay. She's definitely choosing that.
Because I've heard her talk to her,
Okay.
to her grandma. Drops her off. She doesn't talk like words. Like she didn't even say hi to me. But like the grandma's always talking about like how much she loves me and like how she's excited for class. And I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever. You say so.
Oh, she's hiding.
My clinical was for second grade and kindergarten for the
Okay.
TESOL because I had to finish it, and it was at the same school.
Kids class.
For the July one was like less than like about 10
Oh.
for the July one because the summer school, and then for the spring to June, April to June was like 20 something. Like a normal size of 20 some, like 25 kids.
I mean,
But then like a lot of them are absent almost every day.
yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, they were second grade and they're bilingual. That school is bilingual.
Okay.
Yeah, English and Spanish. And they take Spanish class as one of their specialties.
Oh.
Yeah. But the Spanish class, when I was in that class, she wasn't really teaching Spanish at all. Yeah. It wasn't really even because it's toward the end of the school year. It was not really teaching. They were more having fun, kind of. Oh yeah. The last day they were watching. Yeah. They were watching Turning Red on the last day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. They were watching movies. Yeah, and then the teacher's like more carefree, and she wasn't really teaching for the end. And then she was like, yeah, she said like if you for the lesson plan, she's like, you can choose whatever. It's up to you. Okay. For me, when I was there at that school. For the summer ones, they had like I had to follow their district thing, so like it was based on that for the summers.
But it's strict.
Hmm?
It's strict.
No, not that. Like it was based on the springboard. So everything was planned out. I just never followed.
In a new way that is very objective, so that's very edifying, and that is good to be. So I was just going around, and some people feel that Yeah, and then some people are, oh, they just do this, that, and then I want to. Finish that. But Shannon is one of these people who thinks that things are really going really well, and she's like supporting them Gandhi as well. So can you share with us your strategies? And why you think things are going well, and what strategies you are using to make sure you're on top of everything? Please turn to the class and just tell the class what you're doing that if the rest of us are doing.
I always have my planner open on what month we're on. And I have all the important papers written down to do on certain dates. And I just kind of like organize my head how I'm gonna work on that stuff. And having a little bit of time.
What is? I'm just an illusion.
Okay,
Yeah. So this is for the month of November. I have each class a certain color and I highlight what's like most important. And I always just refer to like what's coming up. And I manage my time well so I can hand in the assignments on time.
You don't want to see
I've been going to tutoring. Yeah, to help with my assignment.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been going to tutoring like for days each week.
okay, that's good. Yeah, what's the next?
Yeah, with the library and with my trio tutor.
So let's be on top of it.
Yeah, every week.
Who has Shamir? I think I might be saying that. On top of it.
So it's like at least the beginning of the week or like Sunday, whatever it is, like, I go and see what that's fine. And like my plan is like get to next one and then I whatever I'm doing.
And it's really helpful, reminding all of us.
Everything's on top of me, then I'm like, if I am the Titanic.
Really good. There are a couple of things, and then I learned from them that it's already been has it. I did not know that.
It's funny.
You don't know that?
I yeah,
Yeah.
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 Your professor didn't know that that was in them. I always have to learn it. So after, did you know that? That was
I've been a year with this app, and I've been very helpful.
So it's been helpful.
Yeah.
So do you want to share, can you share what you are doing that's making things go?
Yeah, so I kind of do the same thing with Shannon where I have a planner and I like color coded and everything. And I kind of like, so at the beginning of the year, like the first day or like the first week when I got my syllabuses, I went through and I kind of like scheduled my assignments in my planner a few days before they're due. So like that's when I work on them, so I don't have to things up until the last minute. And then kind of with like the Pulse app, I always have like upcoming dates of assignments or at least like teachers who post the assignments on D2L. So like I'm always checking that and keeping up with the notifications. So that's really it. Trying to stay ahead of time in my syllabus. Yeah, be pretty much right.
So you are telling me how helpful it is for you to have it. And then it go on to- Yeah. So after I think I have told them that. We told us one. So we're going to do that. So actually, I bring that hope that we just out and then so you don't have to. I always have to log. So because I need help. So have you been wearing this stuff?
It's like a reality check, but like a good, like, hey, you're not fully there yet, you're going to get there.
But it also helps to talk through some of these issues. You want to know is just so, but please keep your eye on the price, okay? That's what I'm getting. Keep your eye on the price, and sometimes it gets to be overwhelmed. Yeah, getting up to about that time really gets better. So, need to stay focused. Just get this. And always think, midterm is a big one. Once you get around that, then you begin to see things already. What you do. 12 or 8 and what happens to the mental structure from the calendar. So stay focused and everybody just look at it. I'm pretty much in homework. Usually homework starts with block 2. Everybody you see here today are taking homework. So this is the time that you can use this class. Really encourage you to guys this. How to have made that decision. You know, it's never. But keep your eye on the price and just remember that it's things that it's here. You know, she just wants to take time off and she I can kind of go away for a semester and then come back. I'm going to start over at that point. They'll just finish the 10 weeks and be done with it. But you know, it's a test. So keep your eye on the price and stay focused. Think about that $60,000 you're going to earn at the end of your home. Get your payout. See, John is really thinking about that.
I got 7 months to go. Before I graduate, I'm gonna get that $60,000 and $2.32.
Yeah, so that's the first salary as a brand new teacher. So I did not start with that. So you just keep your eye on the price and not just the money, but just how life is going to be different for you. All right. So thank you for doing that, and please keep encouraging each other. We'll probably do this again towards the end when everybody's going to feel like that. But you know, we are going to get through all of this. Okay, so just some recaps from last week. So the interview with the advisor is doing well. We had somebody yesterday on campus, and then the next day will be coming next. So we should have 2 actions after the happening. Everything is true. I was getting on this. So hopefully very happy about this. So, yeah. Now, clinical experience, we talked about this last week. Yeah, I'm glad that we talked about this. You know, you want to share with us what
I mean, I had to change programs, so I thought that that was a problem. I had to change programs. I was in a social program, but then something happened, but I switched her browser. And then I just wasn't getting any bills, and everybody was like, oh my God, what's this and this? So I talked to her, and then she, and they still, I don't even know why they get the bill. They didn't even tell me the reason when I sent the advisor, like, okay, they know my problem and everything. So now I know. She's good. I'm glad. But it wasn't because I changed program.
So thankfully, I'm glad we don't. So again, and how many people use this? So how was, after taking the fourth different, so. Not only able to begin to participate in this, so that you can. So we literally assigned so make sure that. Right, so.
Another question about the assignment. So the person that I had do my project, they sent me everything. They sent me pictures of the project. They like not the kids doing them, but like the drawing activity. But they didn't want their kids in pictures. Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, from you. They send you different.
Yeah, they sent me a letter and they sent me, so my project is like an I Spy for a 3-year-old, but they have to draw based on the colors. I think, show me something blue. And the kid drew a picture the best they could of that, and the mom helped me spell out the item. And then she wrote me a letter. She's gonna want the kid's photo. Like, to me pictures of what you could have put, like, no. Okay.
So, any other questions? So we'd like to talk to the because it's happened before. So make sure that when they go on vacation, and you call them and they say, oh, we're on vacation. So make sure that you are not saying all of them, because they need when so always ask about when you can come and pick it up. That's sort of the good notch. Say yes. Okay, so for today we are going to have two guest speakers that come after 5:30. So before that, I want us to do the last presentation for the journal review. Right now, we'll do that. Final assignment, we are going to choose partners for that. I'll explain the assignment. I've already listed it. That would be a very assessment of what we do projects. The presentations will be smooth and everything on the time for last class. So just to warn you, if for whatever reason you cannot present that day, don't love, because that is very easy. I don't like to put this kind of assignments in the last class, but with everything going on with everybody, surely the last class. So I'll leave it there, but just know that whatever happens, you should present for that presentation. Otherwise, there is a lot of marks, and you don't want to lose those marks. All right, so let's have group the last group for the journal review come and present. For the life of me, I did not know what's going on with this laptop and why it's just not showing up. Tried everything that I possibly can. Okay. So group five, please come on up. Let's see who's there. Is there a group five? I think there is. Has everybody presented? Everybody. If you did not present with your group, then after. Okay, so let's go on and I can just explain to you the final assignment. If you have your laptop, iPad, or whatever, please open it up and then open it up to the bus. That's great. That's a big thing. So just slow. So. So this is a complete asset mapping project. Okay. And what is an asset mapping project? Instead of using a deficit model, what's there? So when we think about assets, that's what the assets are. But we also try to define what is not. And you know, how can we support the people who think to actually find to make sure what's there, then what are some recommendations? What's not there? So for this particular assignment, I'm going to work with four of the groups. So 5 people per group. So there are extra class that work for 4. Groups of 5. So I'm going to choose your group members. So and working together. Now, you are going to decide on within Chicago on which you are going to focus on. So, if you live in the suburbs, maybe Skokie or Evanston, that is not acceptable. You need to find a within Chicago. But our school is here, we just want to focus on Chicago. And so through the internet, you will conduct research of available sources for your community. So for example, let's say you chose Mayfair. choose West Rogers Park, or Rogers Park, or you choose Lincoln Park, or Logan Square, or Ravenswood, or Lincoln Square, North Center, or any of those locations. And I'm just, just thinking those things ahead. You go to the internet and see what available resources are there. Then you are going to input posters to resource information, handbooks, pamphlets that will support your research. So as part of your projects, you need to focus on the resources available to members of. So think about that. So in the past, people used to just drive around the neighborhood to find what's there. This is nice. So you will categorize different types of community resources, and you'll find out the effective use of the effectiveness of their use by children, parents, caregivers, and other members. Let's say you are going to, when I say categorize them, so you are going to look for example, how many chapters are around? Let's say, for example, look at the borders of Logan Square. That's what I'm going to be. You are going to be looking at the borders, and all of these things are available. Find the borders. Just take it from the internet, place it on your paper and your PowerPoint. These are the borders of people Park or Lincoln Square. These are the number of chapter centers there, but you are going to also categorize them. They all over the Lincoln Square. Remember how some places are desert, so you want to see where they are. And there are some apps that can actually help you find out where the universities are. So if you want to see the clusters, where the cluster goes. Places of worship, where are they located? Places like hospitals, as an example, for your healthcare, grocery stores, and things like that. So these are all resources. You want to find out where these are. Some communities have, if you want MCUs, for example, that's a resource. Not all communities have them, but if your community has them, then definitely you want it. That's a resource. And then once you finish the categorization, you're going to create a checklist of questionnaire to obtain more information. So you can again, don't even the particular level, you can create a question checklist to find out from community members how they use the resources. It will interest you to know that sometimes some people don't know that resources exist. They will have resources, but it doesn't know. So sometimes, you have, if all you do is go to work, go run by groceries, it's going to be difficult to know what to do. Not driving around. For me, sometimes I just drive around. Even if I don't want to drive, I just kind of drive around. Then I say, oh, now I know that, this new parking lot has opened up over here and things like that. And it's always a surprise for me to see something that's so it's always very exciting. It's always so it's just kind of driving. But when you are very busy, all you just do is go to work and go to party. So you have to make sure that you know what's happening. So, so ask people if they know that this resource can exist. And how effectively do they use that? Because there could be a resource, but people may not use it. Or it could be there, but they don't use it. So you want to ask people, when you do your survey, you want to ask different people how they use or if they use them. And then so you can use you may use social media to gather your information or interview those Zoom. So you and your peers, you need to create some kind of a questionnaire or checklist. And use social media to find people to help answer those questions. It has to be people from they're not people from outside. I don't think it's from outside. Resources that are there and how we use them. Like the Zoom is there, like the Lakefront is there, but I don't live there, so I don't know what it is. So now once you completed your survey, you now have to take a critical look at the information that you have and check, okay, so what resources are available, what resources are not available, and what are the implications of the availability or the lack of availability of resources for members of the church. Now, you see, when you think about families and the community, yeah, not just families, but families are, of course, families are members of. Usually, everybody is looking for access to resources when you meet. And what is happening in Chicago right now is a good case in point. If you listen to the news, and I don't know which channels you typically tune into, for me it's WTN, because when I'm late from work to go home, it's on repeat, so especially using my iPad or whatever. I don't have time to see it, so I would usually just. But when you really look at it, you can see that there is a huge contention in the whole of Chicago right now. That's really what people are trying to do. If you watched that yesterday or the day before, I got in the book. And people who were saying, no, we don't want to have this neighborhood and all of that. When you really go down to the bottom of it, it's like resources. Like, oh, why are you giving new people resources? And they're taking resources from us to give to big people. That's pretty, when you really look at it, and thought, wow, this is like ECED is 16, when talking, trying something and community. So it's like, okay, you have new people who have come in. Now you are taking resources away from us who are really and giving it to people who are new. And they're saying, how fair is that? And then some other people are saying, well, but there are some people who have been here before and who have all this, who never had access to these resources, what did you do to help them? And all of that. And then there are people who are saying, no, these are new people, they are trying to make a better life for their children as well. That's why they came. So we need to provide resources for them too. And then the mayor is saying, we need to reach out to the federal government because they need to help us more, because this is overwhelming for us. And we need to coordinate with everybody to make sure that we're not overwhelmed. So when you get down to the bottom of this, it's all about the resources. Like, who has access to what resource? And when you are thinking about families and communities, that's pretty much what this is about. Is do we have enough resources for everybody? Or is it that there isn't enough resources for everyone? And even without the migrant situation, when you really go down to the bottom of it, is who has access to those resources? How are they able to get access to those resources? What is it that makes it possible for some people to have more access than some people don't seem to have access at all? Is it because they have more money? Because if you have more money, you're likely to have more access to resources because you can go and just get it because you have the money. If you don't have the money, then maybe you will not have access to the resources. But there's something else too. There's something that is called social capital. And that is your ability to access those resources. It's not all the time that resources are available to everybody. But your ability to go and get those resources or to, you know, when they say somebody is resourceful, that what does it mean when you hear that? When you have something.
They can find and use resources.
Exactly, yes. You can find where those resources are. You may not have them, but you can go for them. So scholarships, for example, if you are resourceful, that's one of them. I don't have money to go to school, but I can access this resource. I can go and look for money to go to school. So John was just telling Shakira and I that, you know, he's going to try and get his assignments done and everything. Told him, I said, well, maybe you are not going to be sleeping. So he said, I'm going to get it done. So that means that he's very resourceful and he will find a way to get this done. Whatever happens, even if he doesn't sleep at all. Like John.
Every day's night.
No sleep for John. So when you really think about it, it's all about resources. And so, and when you think about us as teachers, that is what we need to try and do. You know, how can we help families to access those resources? What are the things that we can do to help them to say, okay, you don't have it now, but doesn't mean that it's not there. So here are the places you can go to access those resources. These are the things you can do. We can reach out to this person, we can reach out to that person so that you can have access to the resources. And so never ever allow parents in your class of your students to think, and even your students too, to think that, oh, you know, we don't have money, so that therefore we cannot access such and such. What you should be doing is teaching your students how to be resourceful, where they can go to get it, you know, the resources that they're looking for. Is there somebody they can contact? Resources is not just the items themselves, it's also people. Like, is there somebody who can help them get it? Is there somebody that they can tap into? Is there a network that they can tap into? See, when you do that, you are providing and helping your students to have what we call social capital. Because that is what they need to do, is how do you advocate for your own needs? You say, I need this. I don't have money to get it. Even if I have money to get it, nobody really would even know and help me. So is there somebody that I can reach out to? So please remember, as teachers and future teachers, as you're thinking about this, think about your students and how you can build into your curriculum this aspect of having social capital and how to be resourceful children. One way of doing that is, okay, maybe you're looking to do some baking activity in the preschool classroom. You have 3 cups. One of the cups that you need isn't there. You know, the quarter cup from whatever reason is lost. So you can teach children how to be resourceful by saying, is there anything else we can do? You know, we don't have quarter cup, and yeah, this recipe is calling for a quarter cup. How can we do that? You know, you have a half a cup, and then you have 1 cup, but then you have maybe 1 cup, but the quarter cup is missing. How can we improvise? So those are the kinds of things that should be helping kids to learn. Like, if I don't have it, is there any other way for me to get it? Is there an alternative? You know, what else can I do to go get it instead of looking for money to go and get it for the car? So those are the kinds of things that you want to be encouraging your students to do, because it helps them to build, to become resourceful people and to build this agency and the social capital to say, okay, I don't have it, but there's a way for me to do it. And I talk to a partner, I talk to a friend, and there's somebody else that needs to build. So keep that in mind. So the access to resources is such a big thing. So I'm still on number 3. So after your analysis, you need to create a plan for encouraging more effective use of the resources that are available in the community and suggest ways in which community members can access the resources that are not available. Okay. And then so that's pretty much the assignments. And then number 4, you will create a portfolio of resources that will consist of 4 major parts. Your findings about the available resources in the selected community. You need to organize them by categories. You have to provide links to brochures, informational handbooks. Each category, your findings. You need to talk to us about your findings, where we do the presentation and also paper, either for interviews or for questionnaire, and then an analysis of the resources that are available. So, for example, something may be a gap for you, where you all of a sudden you go, great. So Chicago is really good with tax, like neighborhood tax and things like that, but it's quite possible. It may be in a neighborhood that doesn't have a park, which means that they have to drive 2-3 blocks to get to the park. So is that something that you might want to recommend for you? And I've seen new parks being built as well. So people neighborhoods that don't have parks. So I think there is a non-profit that builds. It's very important. And that's the resource. Why would you family work? Close by. And then also the plan for encouraging more effective use of the resources, and then your suggestions about how to access resources that are not available. So each group is going to have a 30-minute presentation, your projects, class, and please be very creative in the way that the presentation and in the way that you lecture, questionnaires, interviews. It's always very, very important. Just reaching out to people on social media, respond to you. So, and then the rest of the what you see there, what to do in your report, produce the community, demographic statistics, you know, who lives there, who lives in your neighborhood. We want to know. The other thing is that neighborhoods change over time. So think about that. Like, Pilsen is really changing now. When I first came to Chicago, the places that were really changing were places like Ravenswood at the time, Logan Square. Those were neighborhoods that were really going through major transformation. And communities were fighting back. They, no, we don't want all this trendy. Now, we don't say they shouldn't come, but we don't want them taking over all of our places like Bucktown, places like those are the areas that are being identified. Right now, Pilsen is identified, and you'll probably see Pilsen on the news quite a bit because again, because of the gentrification, their taxes are going up. So those are real major concerns. But all of a sudden, once a neighborhood has Starbucks, it's like, oh, okay, that's great. So I would set that taxes before or something like that. So, and that is not a good thing. So, neighborhoods are also fighting back because again, people have generational homes that's been there for years. all of a sudden, people are buying the homes and they're building these huge buildings and renting them out, as condominiums and, and either selling them at a huge profit and everything. So it's really causing so much tension, in the city. So, 3, 4, 5 years ago, well, Houston has started to be gentrified, but 10 years ago, Houston was not gentrified. But now it is. And so it's pushed back. Pretty very fast. That's a cycle. That's very good. Right now, so something's changed. Some people have sort of made a good book. Where the past. More just very computer. Just let you know that. Yeah. What else? It contrasts to some of these. Okay. But life is not going to have social capital that would encourage, that would give you the ability to find what you're doing. Yeah. So does this make sense? We'll revisit this again. So what I'd like us to do before we take a quick, actually, let's take a quick break first, because our visitors are coming very soon. So let's take about a 10-minute break and come back. So when we come back, we're going to have 2 former principals, and we will have worked in ECED, for years and years. We can kind of classes. Yes. So she's going to be one of our sisters. Also, she was also she was in class at high school. So they're going to be coming. We have a ton of experience. So we created some concerns to students. So that one, what I'd like you to do is also to think yourself, a situation that's experienced, and put that out as a scenario to them. They can do this. But let's take a good time right back. Okay, so make sure that this meeting you have not already signed, so that I can make sure that you're ready to read your
No, I was thinking about doing this, I was really frustrated with it's that bacon that we talked about.
Yes. I couldn't see from the inside. So this is like the only way that I really could get it. But
I just wanted to pick out. So then I would say, yeah, I was like, which is the big one? Like, I was mad at you. I know the business strings around there. Half the schools are still there.
this is like the first section.
Look at the
Let me see. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess, I thought it was. Baseball. I was like, trust me, I walk around there. I hear it from like nonsense. See the performance, like. Yeah, Golden State used to be all of that. I remember that too. It was St. Sylvester and Golden, the big two. Saying, we're not going to school there, but like, it's only 10 guys. Let's go my home. Yeah, you.
So yeah, Excel is just asking about me trying to do not do it. Oh, so, like, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right, so if you have not signed it, please make sure that you sign it so that. So, our part is giving a child to work with for the movements. Everybody have access, maybe a cousin, a neighbor, that we can, must have you.
My behavior is not. With COVID, wonderful, what.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe it's.
I don't You a child? Crazy, but give me to go to jail. Give me the parents. Okay. Because I read up almost criminally about myself. You a child. It's how my brain's off. I mean. Hey, do you know a project, do you have a project you're getting to policy? Okay with that? I got you. I don't have over. Like, I know, like, you got.
So you know, past classes, that's my job, but that they can even work. Child test and answer, people have neighbors or people have nephews, nieces, they just ask to.
Honestly, if you want to do a whole project, I do it in my preschool class as a super observer, so I'm not doing it for you. I can handle what's going on in the class. Just tell me what age range you want to do, and I'll know what.
You have a parent who will.
I have parents in the class for like my superhero class, you get parents in there with me, so they can do it alongside.
So that's. So, that helps.
I don't know what you get. Having raised that. No, I wish you did it. Would be walking in.
So, has everybody signed in? Okay. Yeah.
Well, this day and expo, which is more like. Usually a room to read. And then there's a little wasn't more complicated games. That they challenge each yeah, don't buy the board.
I've been preparing you for a guest restaurant. So this is this chairs. Here's the kids. This is different yes, things here. And they're just a wonderful results. So, just so I can get it right. Yeah. That's
again, we're doing that. Like, yep. But he's still.
But she's been most recently. Children. Even then.
Good.
Yes. But the wife even, that she. No, they want that. That's kind of- But I thought them because of the. And, there's people who can solve this happen. So, as I mentioned to you, we're going to be doing an assignment. We have one of three situations. With academic issues, the institutional issue, the behavior issue that athletic parents before, and I'm sure many more types of issues too that I'm sure you'll probably be behind it. So I'm going to just move it over. And then we're going to do modeling on there's the whole thing. If you want me to move the chair.
No, I'm looking for it. I'm gonna grab a single chair. That's one, and then it's like.
Well, she does that. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about
Yes, great.
the best news. The best. After 34 years. I started out for a system.
Thank you.
We did all sorts of jobs. I was a elementary principal for students, under students, writing and everything. And later on, I became the principal of Putnam Park High School for 6 years. Then I left there for about 3 seasons. At my last 7, 8 years at CPS, I was working problem solving in 44 schools.
Yeah.
Parent mediation. I'll tell you what the trick is. The trick is for looking for the win. There's always. Not about winning or losing, it's about looking for the win and understanding when to vote, like Kenny Rogers. When to vote, when to vote. I get my money off. I can go to concert. But I can do it. You can have the big meat cups.
Keep for that intro.
Well, I mean, I don't know a lot.
You know, so we go back very. So between us, you know, here's. I know. But I was principal, I was also teacher and instructor. And I took that stuff. This is my house. I was there 36 years. I started in that role there with my class. And we 2.5 years more than that. So it's up. And so what is the dog? That's what we meant. Yeah, the passion for teaching. Thanks. You're never going to, it's difficult. You'll never be millionaires, but it is a wonderful, wonderful career. Will make a big difference. Both and make a big difference. So I've always said I support. Despite the fact that I studied teaching is just so you want to see them. But you
person. By the way, I'm like. Yes. That's it. But.
Feel that way.
Troublemaker. Never surrender, never give up. But no, really, I had a great, I had to repeat any kind of my life, it would be my years. They were wonderful, so, you know, that's one of that. But, so, part of the journey. You have those struggles. No. So we're just gonna role play and go with, we have not rehearsed because we're gonna go with a, roll with the punches.
Yeah, then you step up once again, and then start to.
Let you start off. I will follow you. That's you.
That's a good song.
I love mine.
That's my part.
You don't have
I love you.
Okay, I'll be right there. I'll be. Taking the chair.
You come in and I'm gonna see the parent, right? Never. Today either.
You don't worry, you just take these. And that's who I am. Yes, I'm Mrs. Robinson. I would like to tell you that I'm very upset. My child came in with a report card. I don't know how you came up with this. I would like to know that we're very. Jamie Robinson. You know what he looks like and who he is? Yeah, where does he sit? That's right. Took these steps. Oh. Sure. For you. Okay. No, I'm not recording. I'm just reassuring my child that it's an.
I'm just telling you, just the thing. What I've always felt like parents, or whether they do not have my purpose.
Still,
So tell me, what brings you here so upset?
I am very upset because this is the first part of. And I don't want to wait till parents are called. Because you give my child 2x. My child does his homework every single day. Then you put comment box, does not bring home. I'm the best of my child.
I don't see it.
So what else would you like to tell me? Tell me a little bit more.
Your mother. You know, but other students and teachers. By the way, is there a new child?
Yes, I just had a baby, 1 month old. Yes, I should have brought a picture, but I was so angry at you and upset that I did not think picture of that.
See if you're born.
Think you have to see that. Is there anything else that you can tell me that I have? That might
Well, I think you figured it. Figured it out. What I would like. Figure out. You know, see it. The law for- Either. Then maybe the becomes the one. Because
I can, how can you help me with this steps? Why don't we? Yes, correct.
but what if that- whatever you gonna get paid. Sometimes. when you're not gonna pay, it's super easy.
You can.
That's not very many of them.
They don't read over. I want to know how you help me to bring that. See, I didn't finish school. I just want to break.
And that's okay. But the fact that you do. So together, we're gonna. You're going to be this, we're gonna have a meeting. We're gonna- This is gonna be. Sign.
That, but I don't write very well.
It's
So
okay, or whatever you do, it's fine. In that way, he will. We'll have one week. What we- what happens, what are the consequences?
well, I could take away the games and the TV and the cell phone. Spend a lot of phone, but I'm so busy with the baby. It's 10 years old.
What is it?
Well, it's 10, but all these 4-year-olds have phones. So what do you want me to do? I bought it for him because I wanted to make him happy when the baby came in. And he spends a lot of time, but I just wanted to see something to Joe. What's your name again? Sister, yes. Copy of the name. But. That you don't look like my children. That's one thing I want to work with. Listen.
I love,
You do? Okay.
I don't know, but your child is very frank. It's showing you how great. I think I think it's-
We know, no, I apologize for the way I walked in. But I'll have to come in. Oh, okay. What is?
This works. But yeah,
Well, thank you, and I will
so can we please?
certainly can, yes, okay, just send me a send it to your, and bring the baby. Yeah.
But I like it.
Thank you, ma'am. Jamie has something.
You need to say, wait, this is.
Yes,
I mean.
and let's hold on, Jamie, hold on. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Feedback.
All right. So when you do parent teacher conferences, tell me, what did you notice first? If the parent came in very angry, what did the teacher do? Okay, she was calm. Mhm. What else? John?
De-escalated the parent before actually full-on dating conversation.
How did she do that?
Like, one, like, I would say their name, introducing themselves, gave them on the phone. And even though the parents said, you gave my child a pen," they decided to say, no, I didn't. They were like, well, what, like, they conversated why the child had enough. And like, instead of saying, my child is homework, well, I didn't see it. You're not here to see them from then. Yes, they did it. We saw that. But like, explaining instead of shutting down them, causing a conversation instead of just like yelling.
Okay, good. What else did you see? What did the teacher do after calming the situation down? What did she say about the child? Justin.
She informed the mother.
Okay, good. Exactly, yes. So when you hear that as a parent, what does that make you feel? It makes you feel good. Yes, exactly. So, so she started with, after calming the situation and de-escalating the situation, she gave a good report about the child. So, yes, Shamir.
One thing is,
Yes, 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 exactly. So, just if somebody is really, if the voice is really loud, you just need to think about your own voice and just calm down a little bit more. It really helps, show compassion. Okay, so then what else did you see? Yes.
I also like how the teachers and the parent like bring the child here and let's all have a meeting together. And I just feel like if the child hears like what kind of concepts are or like what they did, so they can kind of like learn, oh, this is my homework and on my grade like at least so they know for next time to do or
Right.
one,
lack of attention because they make
Yes.
so,
Yes.
I've been told, my brother and I are Irish. I've been told that walking home, you wanted to return the best.
Yeah.
This is why my real life. Be true to yourself. But don't reinvent it.
But I also love that the teacher is
Yes.
provided with that's gonna be challenge that actually
Did I, did I make?
I wanted to bring that up. I thought that it was a great moment that not only the child was able to benefit from the meeting, but the parent as well. And that sometimes kids want to bring mom and dad into the school system as well because they might even feel like they could benefit. So I thought that was a helpful moment for mom as well.
So we've had those experiences. What you saw here was what we have experienced. Of course, in the schools, that's
Did I? Feel bad. Put a smiley face, but what do you want? Let me know.
and the reason I brought that up is because we were coming from one student
In this day.
in this day and age that never went to school. We assume that they have their children in the and they can't. So this is also that they don't see as well as they can. So that's what the same sentence or expect them to construct that grade. They can't mount that their authority. Can't. So it's not their job to teach their children who are behaving with parents. That's how it's improving. So I brought that up because what if the parents and others may, but they just.
We're probably going off track here, but I would like my. So I have. I'm gonna do it. One time. So I said, okay, if you're gonna watch a novela, but then novela, which I watched. So I know what they were talking about. So that's. So what, when, and where? You have to put you can add.
So what I wanted you to also think about is the beginning, very positive report of the child So, and then the middle part was when the issues came up, okay? And then the last part was, what can we do to resolve this? So that's what we call the sandwich method of, yes, of a parent of family teacher conference, where you always start with something good about it. There's nothing, no child, no matter how difficult the child is, that doesn't have something that's positive. It could even just be their smile or whatever the case may be. So always look for something positive in a child. Never ever write any child off and say, oh, this child is totally, I just cannot see anything good in this child. Always look for something that's positive, because guess what? You're going to have to report to the parent, and the parent will know if you hate their child. Yes, they will know if you hate their child and you are just trying to, yeah, they will know. And then the middle, doesn't mean you don't address issues, but that's what you do in the middle. But always make sure that you leave on a positive note. Well, so when you go to do your conference, always think about that. What is the positive thing I can say about this child? What are the issues that we need to address? And how can we solve this in an amicable way that the parent will go out feeling like it was a win-win situation? Yes, John.
I always have two go-to comments. I would say like either your child's a ray, like a ray of energy in my classroom,
Yes.
or your child's a very valued member of our class. That's how it always starts. So
Yeah.
those are two ways to keep them happy.
Yes.
So they're a ray of energy in my classroom, or like a valued member, then I go to but we don't have energies in this part. And then let's work together to get them to be a completely ray of sunshine every day. And then they usually happy.
That's good. Okay, yes, so.
I'm gonna walk up this.
Okay, so there number 2.
I'm being very nice.
By the way, to think about on that record.
Yeah, I've been recorded twice and I did that.
Very clear. And I've been recorded like.
Yeah, they send their phones, they find it.
And this is.
Is that part of the school? Is that part of the legislation or?
You need my permission.
Yeah, you think so,
Yeah, it
you
should
need
have
permission.
what it is. It's something that I want to report it and.
Yeah.
You have
You
to-
need to know, right?
They're the ones.
Say something about, but not.
Both parties have to be notified, them, like, in some states.
No, I don't know, but they can't.
But some is, don't say anything that. We can say and so set an example that to be important for them. A very good. The parent. gives us a very positive- Okay, we're gonna do the.
So next scenario.
Hi, I'm Miss Lester. Okay, thank you. I have spent the whole night asking them. Well, my child comes home, that someone is over. He consult crying. Wants to fall in love with the book. It's a very infection. She says Barney. Is there Barney here? Barney and I want. Is there Barney here?
So, well, no, don't even answer because, we were. So. But I told you, I would, where is this?
Well, he will come to school today, he will come tomorrow. Says that you'll still do several times. And you just say, oh, you stop okay. Stop okay. Never tells me that, right? Because Dr. said, don't play with him. With my son, JD, I'm JD. It's like that, right? So it's okay.
What is he doing?
This is fun. He loves to watch TV.
I would say, what else?
Well, he just has to do my homework. Because next school indicates his best. What? My mother, this is one, she's very loving. She's really, you know, I would say she's open, gives him everything he wants when it comes to gadgets and we don't have that much money, but she spends a lot of money. Well, I don't know, it's called spoiling, but it's my only child. But I'm still worried about my
So
son.
when did this happen?
It started 2 weeks ago when this Barney came to the classroom. And then he asked me a question, no, you do not know that my child is bullied, you know. Just one day he put his foot out and tripped him and he almost broke his face and told me he didn't believe it. That's what he said.
It would, you believe that if I see the child trip with the floor of the dogs?
But you look like a very nice lady, but I have to believe my child. No, I have to believe my child.
You know, every time for the house. So sometimes again, it's not something.
Well, about 5 blocks, it's pretty far to walk. Down in the region, especially, but no, it is. Why you guys?
Because everybody's. We can't. do it. In that way, I would love it, because that way you know what I. Make a report. It's true. Because if we do when everybody finds the same people, we remember the two tests. Yours. Mine. So we can talk about it. So maybe it is hard. We're gonna talk, maybe it is hard. If it is hard, there's something else that I need mom for permission, so we can all.
So if I see that little red outside tomorrow when I am out in the playground coming in, should I remind you to leave my child alone?
If you don't mind, so
I don't want to be arrested. I don't want them to. But you know, I have to protect my child.
but you can speak to another child. And
You sure?
but if you don't trust me and you don't mind being arrested, then you can do that. But I want to tell you, I don't think,
Why?
you know, you know,
Well, that mother better come in because she doesn't want me to talk to that child. of
no,
hers.
it's not her, it's the law. And you're making an assumption that everything son is. There's 3 sides to that.
So you sure they will arrest me if I see something there tomorrow morning and it's in the playground?
I'm fairly confident that you should be arrested. If my parent says something, but you don't have to believe. But think about it. Think through that. What is it something?
I'm a good mother, but you know, that's my baby. And I'm a good
I have to see the best.
Okay, I promise you I won't say anything to that friend, but we'll put a
So
stop to
when-
this.
Wrong. Stuff. When you hear the story, your son, and I were together. If the that conversation with their permission, then we will have a whole.
You see, I'm I'm Puerto Rican and that one is Mexican and Mexican don't like Puerto Ricans. I know
That's
that.
kind of human, so I'm just saying. And when we do that, it doesn't matter if they're like medications. I will have. Special.
Well, okay, I will trust you on this. But I'm gonna keep an eye.
And I'm gonna trust.
Well,
And I'll stop with you.
and that mother better not attack my child. What's gonna happen if she opens the mouth of my child? What if you told me? Because you told me I can.
The same rules apply to her that apply. to us. But we're only once after.
Again, know that for the that love can go to my head. Those Mexicans can be tougher than us for the weekends and I'll have to knock myself down. So
Well, the rules are this. That's the rule. What's the rule? Their part, play night.
well, I just wrote that in my notebook and I will see in the morning, but I'll wait till for
7:30.
I'll try to.
Well, class start at 5.
Well, okay, ma'am, I hope that you will get this straightened out for my child.
I hope that we don't.
I'll have to say. I don't want to do so. Well, if I don't,
I feel like you're correct.
well, no, I'm just telling you, I want my child to continue in the school, and we have to get this straightened out, this, that, I don't want to.
No, I really don't.
No, I'm not, because it's not meant, I'm right, I'm just. Yeah. So, very lucky I am the one that. Does. Oh.
So did you think that the teacher was being defensive? Anyway. Why do you say that?
Well, like, it's the parents hearing their child's side of the story and the teachers acknowledging that child has been withdrawn, hasn't really been showing signs of that. Just showing to the, and hasn't been told, so they can't know they're from their side. And the parents always did the child's side doesn't exactly heard. And now the teacher trying to give them examples why the child might want to stay home, like with the grandma, with the spoiler, saying that is like that might be the more causation than the bullying that may or may not have occurred yet. We have yet to find out on that. So the teacher was not being defensive, they were just explaining the facts of what they know and what in their professional opinion could be happening, why the child might have to want to stay home compared to actually being worried. And if they want to figure it all out, bring the child and let's have a nice mediated conversation about it. And if need to, further steps will go ahead with the teacher and the other parent, civilized conversation.
Right. So this is a great precursor to chapter 15, where it talks about parents behaving badly. So, you need to really think about that because many times we kind of cower as teachers and we think, oh, maybe we don't have any rights or anything like that. But you can see just from the way the teacher handled this that, she has her own rights and she's trying to let the parents also know that she has rights.
But I found the top is bullying.
Wow.
And
I've had parents who moved kids from my program because they didn't want me to, I went back down on the issue. I was like, have a second meeting, then I'm just gonna pull my kid. Like, hey, look, if that's what you want, it's not gonna make me give you what you want. The parents are quick to say, well, I don't want to pull my kid. I don't want my kid to feel uncomfortable in your presence. Like we might have to talk about switching. And my experience of doing this for a while is like, I just say, oh, like, I'm sorry to hear that. I really don't want that for little Johnny, but like, I have to do what's best for my classroom. I have a lot of kids I have to take care of, and I want to get the bonus for your child, but you removing your child doesn't solve this for anybody. So if that's what you feel like, can't do it. But like, don't ever get scared when they say like, I'm gonna be transferred. Like, okay. What do I say?
True story. Told me, my husband has to work.
Yeah.
Even if you're. Don't let them see you sweat. Right, but father, this son, is thinking, second grade. Father told me his hands were wet.
Oh.
And, very hurtful. So much of it. And I was here.
One of the reasons say children for the is married. I think that's and one. But it does come up often. But the other one is that. Talking to a child.
Yes.
Looking at the sex and teacher clarified that very well. It doesn't matter to remember. So, I mean, even if there's for me to say, so you really don't respect my son, and that's your son. That's what stuff. So those are scenarios that have happened. And really, we didn't have to even rehearse it.
Yeah. If she would have brought her aunt, her best friend, or something, I would have asked for any. Are you okay with talking about your child from your brother?
It's a translator.
Even so, you still ask, are you okay with being on your brother? Something may come up.
Yeah.
One of the scenarios we do 100 times was parents also that if the child says, so we want to make sure that the definition, not definition, we'll say definition, but how many times did Peter do this to John? You know, one time he said, I did your shirt. And my child would friend home and then say what happened. Well, no, I didn't hear that, but he did my child's shirt. So they say, my child, oh, that was a word that was thrown around for all those years.
Wow.
We had to go straight with parents. So, all these things. But the calmness that we right after.
Yes, absolutely.
Never use all these.
So. Wait, the door open?
Yes.
Yeah, the conference. Right. Here's the door open. When you work in CPS. CBD. Close enough. But no, I take it seriously because we're talking about bullying. CPS and all the other schools, they have policies. Whatever you do is guided by policy. But we just did the bullying. It has a very extensive policy. And it's all in the student code. I would encourage for the permission of your professor and get everybody a student code.
That's been better. Like, we do it every summer, I do it every session, so I get the whole pamphlet, it goes over field trips, photos, parent pickup, drop off, child's behavior, how write-ups happen. I go through all of that with my parents on the first week. I have them sign off on it, And then we have conversations like this, I remind them, I bring out the signature, I remind them of the packet, I'm like, they went over this, so let's go over in detail. Whether, where the issue is, and let's talk about it. Like, that's my backbone of like what's on it. Okay, let's go, let's define it once again, what we agreed upon going into this class. Now, we can agree upon this. We got the, yeah.
What did I tell you? What was I doing? Oh, sorry, excuse me. ma'am.
Yes. Mine is like, I'm sitting with you.
Yeah. No. A solution. Solution, but what did I? But in order to win, you have to stick with it. You have to lose.
You have to lose a little bit to win a little bit.
Yes, please go ahead. Oh, absolutely. This is your session. Yes.
So this is your house.
Okay.
She's the rep. This is. I want to speak one piece. So. When you're doing meeting, I call this. You look for your. Look at 3 possible solutions max. When you're looking for the one. And all solutions are things that you can live with. But you empower them, pseudo empower them. They're going. Pick what they're going to do. They're going. No, but think about it.
That's true.
Think about it. Don't listen. Work smart. And I didn't learn this, yes, learn because of my experience. Survive.
There's a.
You're gonna run.
I just would like to say that. It's a very competitive process. So the principal was covered. Sure. The principal listens. Expect that the room is open. And to escape the necessary. Because we don't have a big terms of one effect. So never want to sit next to a parent with in front of them. And you notice maybe the principal found it because it's so much the time. So that principal is always little, you are by the door, and there has to be a time or something. That's what we can we can already. So I'm just saying, you're ever in a conference, and the principal puts on the center, you are by the door and over raise your voice or argue with that the principal is taking note of you. As well, because you have a big part here as well. So that's a third scenario we would have done. This. But honestly, that is something for teachers, when I think demonstrate the constantly young teacher. So that's what principals do. That's how you approach yourself. You engage in anything of this, then recognize that you trust about. Okay.
I would tell them. This, I know that everything when you were reading it, everything you have is down. However, I can't understand a word you're saying because you're yelling so loud that I can't understand. And I will tell you, because I did a lot of, everything that you're telling me, you have is valuable, but nobody's taking it. So I'm not telling you not to ask those questions. Everybody, forget this, everybody wants to be that. in that knowledge. Once you do that, it's called, once you do that, without being this. And so as you continue and you become teachers, make sure you have good relationships. Understand who you're serving. Understand, I started the teaching, which is the second thing. Out there. Yeah, all over the world. I made it a point to learn to say hello, thank you. They're like, oh, they knew I first. But the fact that I took the time out to say hello and thank you, and you're like, I care more for some than others, but that's the reality. But they still not care.
So we have three scenarios, the one who didn't have help, but for professional development, they have it always so understand that the mentally better are how your administrator or your students present, just that you are professional.
And also, even though it's sad, it's very, depending on where you are, sitting there, or if they don't have this attitude, they can't survive, right? That is the truth. They can't hide it. And so they don't, they can't switch. I have been known, but then I would build it. Have been known. We're not there. We're here. And I had this relationship with this one mom, and she was a pistol. Great. She was great, but she was a pistol. And every time she went to the school, I had to be. She would not go in. And later on, I saw her at a conference at high school. And she made sure I met her husband. And I said, because this is my personality, right? And I said, what's really? But I had a relationship and she knew, and we were talking, and I said, she really, one of the brightest people I've ever met. She had done a great job. 5 kids, wonderful, just wonderful. She just didn't know what to sit down. Because she was always on the defensive mode. And nobody had told her. And so for me, it was an honor that she brought her husband to where I was. And I she we were all laughing, but we had built that relationship. I was a big disrespect, and she's wonderful. We got a little patience, you know, but we also developed trust. We can do all that.
And that's where the sentence comes in, that you're supposed to set. We just positive slave situation.
And then I would tell him if you see, say hello. I told my kids, listen, the rule of my class was please and thank you. And if they have my permission, right? I remember what they had.
You say students, don't tell me your personal business. They start selling. But then that's when.
Any thoughts, questions, reviews? Can we take our show on the road?
I did ask you to think about some scenarios of questions, so this is your opportunity.
I can sit, as a teacher, I never sat behind the desk. Very comfortable.
But two summers ago, I had conference with my supervisor, parent, and a child with special needs. And throughout that whole meeting, I tried to work with the parent, child. The child was like yapping on the parent, crying on the parent. And it was like kind of hard to keep that professional tone, so it's like still not distracted. But I wanted the child to be there for the meeting to understand that being a parent, kind of understand all the child's behavior. So how do you delegate that with the child's more of a disruption of the meeting? Then,
Right away, I was telling you that that's a clear sign of a rules. And so what I would do is to say, is this normal behavior at the home? No, you know, that's not probably why he or she felt different. Never thought of it. Have your resources ready and having maybe somebody to talk to about how to, because that mom, I bet you needs support and doesn't know how to ask. So how can you redirect her towards some support? Can I say that? Bad.
I did want to something. Why don't you go? So I always have two friends. And they will run around with the screen. But I always have crayons, paper, or puzzles, or chat. So also when people have those crayons that teach out stories. So, but it's very natural. The parents, but it's also to see that you should try to studies that to parent, but that isn't what it's said. Children, but children will be children, so have something.
And invite him back to a second.
we have,
Or a social worker. And as far as getting crayons, I used to collect crayons. I mean, not from the garbage, but when they were sweeping the floor. No, when they were sweeping the floor. It happened. You know what? I'm not a good liar. I don't remember the truth.
I just freaking have colored, like coloring books. I'm like, oh, I didn't finish this. I can do that.
Your friends. But also. Sometimes you try to remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, but for me, the glaring thing with talking about this area or something.
Yeah.
But have all your thoughts.
We have to have like 5 minutes. And I have 5 weeks there. Then I kind of for the fourth one. I have a different room for her. Activities. And I have to be on that. You try to get her a 8. She wouldn't take 8, so it's better that your child is still in the program. Get the write up, obviously, after the second write up. I offered her the 8, and it kind of helped more if the child wasn't there for the 4th and the 5th meeting. But it's just very hard to do the first 3 with the child's climbing, and jumping, and the child's like 13, so like, it's too big. Too big to be doing it.
So FYI. Today when I.
Yeah.
I have a day.
That's what we
And
kind of.
something tells me, I don't know the child, something tells me, something is,
Yeah, if it's 13, I'm doing that. I thought you meant it's.
No. So,
something is not right, it's telling.
they're getting ready to go to their freshman year and I had them since
Oh, they're
they,
not gonna succeed at it.
Yeah. That's what we were trying to have that meeting for, because I had them since they were in 7th grade, 8th grade, and I'm getting ready to go to high school. And I'm having these meetings, and I just keep the child there to show them. But lately now, it's been kind of difficult for the last 2 weeks with her. I've been like, without the child.
Going for, we're going from 8th grade to high school. It is. Because we're in 8th grade, so for the T, we know your castle and you don't have social media. It's garbage. Social media. Yep. There's students. I have purposeful. Gentrified, that's the reality. It's right, but there's something, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did my best. This, like, there's a Chicago Park district a little bit different where we can only recommend. We can't enforce IEPs or.
But you can, hear it. See, what are the office? I have to put it in writing.
No, I love it. 10 years in at this point, I can't even stop.
Well, but whatever you put in. You know. I would tell my students. Was it the class? Right. You want to pay attention. And what happens if I'm older and I have a heart attack and the girl in the hospital, I see your face and I tell you the doctor, oh my God, I will die.
This is my teaching style.
Anybody else in your, treat everybody with respect. And we all have problems, all of us. Leave them outside. Because if you treat, bring them to the consequences. It's a better good. You may never see what brings you part of your business. But their child. And when it- Thank you.
And I'm not being rude, I was just respectful. So. But she's starting. So that's what. Katya, did you have a question?
Oh, I had a scenario earlier, but
Say
if
it,
not,
do
that's
it.
Do it.
Nothing.
Do it.
more so looking at like younger age students. I work at a school that we have different like grouped dismissal times. So the whole entire school is dismissed at 3:30. However, that means our park that we have at school is not open to the public until after 3:30. A lot of students that we're having that are done at 2, 2:30, 3 o'clock, because they can't go to the park, mom and dads have been letting them kind of play out in front of the school, which is all great. It's all concrete, it's all metal railings, and it's right next to a very busy street. So we've had teachers come out and talk to parents. We've had admin at this point come out and talk to parents. And overall, the parent response is like, we tell them to stop. And we'll tell the kids to stop, they'll stop for a second, and then we turn around and they're gone. And they're doing the exact same thing that were 5 minutes ago, and so I'm curious as to how, we can like start to create more longevity in the solutions that we have with these parents, rather than, okay, stop because I'm looking right now, rather than stop because this is unsafe. I want you to listen to mom when she tells you no, and I want mom to also feel supported. It's just a unique scenario that we've been having that I was curious to pick your brain apart. We've had our principal come out a couple times and explain to the parents why it's not a good idea. Their kids will stop for like, that afternoon, and then we come to the next day and it's the same thing every day. They hang off, they scream. Is that for the kids that are walking around the halls, it's disruptive because they can see outdoors. Mhm.
She knows she is. But I think you have many it's the leadership. All these things sort of rock or a concern. That needs to be brought up in all these things. You have to own it.
Mhm.
And once you own it, you can find solutions. Also, you get parent volunteers.
I think it's a great idea. Parent involvement is definitely something we've been struggling with. We see a lot of parents that either are working all the time, or when they do pick up their kid, that's their only time to socialize with other parents and talk about like what was going on. Yeah. I feel like it's interesting. I feel like once there's like a job put in place, like a responsibility put in place, I'm interested to see if it's like a,
What do you-
so I'm a full-time substitute. I substitute for preschool through 8th grade. Yeah, I started it before I realized I wanted to teach.
So
Yeah, it's the elementary school that I went to, so I feel like I've walked those halls.
but it's
To my administrator, yes. And our administrators are very, talk to the parent first until it's an issue, and then we will come and intervene. Yeah, and so,
but so maybe. So maybe so maybe if you're comfortable. And you said no. But what I'm saying is, so comfortable. If you're going to be alone, there's no process. Policy. And it's a reason. Parent volunteer. Feel the product. If it works, take it. But if you feel that comfortable, just don't tell them that you know it is their issue. I think I might have a solution.
I also kind of thought of like a parent volunteer group after school. We have a group of 8th graders that in the morning time they'll wear like little pennies And we have like a crossing guard, but ultimately any kids that are being dropped off, they'll help direct mom and dad where your kid's gonna go stand. And so that's in the morning time because they're kind of waiting to get in class, but by the end of the day, they're still in school. And preschool and kindergarten are out, they're terrorizing the concrete. It's so scary because they run and they bump into each other and the mom can watch, and I don't want to overstep, but at the same time, I don't want to have to clean up kids.
So maybe you can, maybe you can. Like I.
Thank
And we put on everything that we have, like, please don't have to walk to the school office or work to do that. That there was probably strollers and scooters, right away. We're gonna have the strollers and scooters to the side, too much traffic. And parents, right away, the little things, park the strollers and scooters, to the side, the walk kids, and pick up those strollers. Yes. Yes, really.
My philosophy is parents of the children, don't tell them they're gonna have like. It's not a problem.
I want to tell you the worst parent, whatever, the worst. What they- And again, I'm going to tell you. They were living in a basement. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a one burner. No question about it. That's a numbers. This foolish. They enrolled the card. And she would not enroll. Now they were overcrowded, but it doesn't matter. Policy says you. She would. And again, I was around. Yeah. But it didn't matter. Because that one, first of all, she had it. Second of all, she loved us. And if you weren't in school, but this clerk would enroll them. You know that I said, this is true. I said it. That's what I'm not saying. And you know, I was younger, dumber, you know. Although, but my conviction was so strong that I think, and at the end of the day, she was. It's those kids. Nothing. And I have two kids. At Thanksgiving. Just so it's a weapon. We waited for mother to get. That's I went to pick up 6:30. I think the teacher stayed back. I get why did we? So I said to my, he was a male teacher. When the mother was a third school place. She had no way. But I remember her very teacher, who went on this, would say, they never bring homework, don't even waste your time. They came to me after pretend choices. Because that teacher was not big deal. But it was good that she didn't come. Because I found out
So when we decide to screen a note, should or judge a child for that reason, look at the scenario. There's no way that those children had any places to dirt floor, jam. And so bringing those baskets. That first. After warnings of. That's how. Doing. Every step of anyone to know is obvious. That's the other side of the spectrum. Yes. Go ahead.
But this book. College.
I got the book.
It's very hard. It would be great if you could read it. For class. Parents. But it would be something so- Social work. Say that child. That child today. is a Motivation. In some places. Some of the second one is a fire. He was public.
He was on Oprah when Oprah was
Yeah.
still on.
So I.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
I
Oh,
told
and
them
you
that
can do it.
I'm so, it's so important to know that we keep that. book.
Okay, so I can just try to figure it out. I'm gonna talk about that. I'll send you that chart. Okay, thank you. Absolutely.
And if he's. Yes.
Thank you very much.